right. The struggle part one and the reason for opening up. Dude, there's a lot of reasons to open these conversations. Is one, I don't feel like people talk about them enough. Two, I think the amount of things that I've gone through in my life does not make me any more haunted or, distraught than anybody else, or mean that I've survived any more than anybody else, or that I've failed where other people have succeeded, or that I've succeeded where other people failed. I just think it does qualify me to talk about some real life situations and, maybe try to be a voice or a shoulder for those that need it, or, start a conversation where it needs to be started. We live in a world right now, dude, that's in serious trouble. And we always like to blame, everything we can and everybody else we can, but we don't talk about ourselves. We don't like to get down to the nitty gritty and tear down our own walls and reveal the pieces of us that might be embarrassing or look weak to other people, I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and recently I've realized that at 35 years old, dude, I've been through so much compounding depression and struggle that honestly, it's amazing that I'm here, I mean, realistically, I don't know how I did it. I think, honestly, I feel like I've always been very resistant. I feel like I've always tried to be extremely strong. I don't necessarily think that everything that I've done to get through these problems has always been a strength, dude. I think a lot of it has probably led to some other bouts of pain or caused me more problems, But I'm here, and that's amazing to me. And then I've seen a lot of things going on in the outside world that, have really gotten to me recently and made me just feel like, dude, somebody needs to start airing these things out and having these discussions. I've been in the military, dude, for almost 15 years, gone through a lot of the issues with that. I grew up in like a family that raised me partially in a small town country environment and partially in the city, and ran into a lot of struggles in both, dude. I've had the alcohol problems, the drug problems, gone through a lot of violence in my life, a lot of death at a very young age. There's a lot of death that has surrounded me from a very, very young age. A lot of heartbreak and betrayal. And a lot of times, dude, when life just knocked me to my fucking knees, and it was so hard to push myself up from the ground and keep on going, And simultaneously, I'm watching a lot of horrible shit happen in the world, dude. A lot of hatred between different communities of people that honestly, it doesn't make sense why there's so much hatred between them, why we can't move forward as a people and, try to be better, The shooting in Minnesota, that got to me really personally because, it was kids, and it happened at a Catholic church, and, I'm a Catholic, I was on Fort Stewart in Georgia for a training exercise on August 6th when that soldier went into that building and tried to shoot and kill his comrades, and luckily he didn't succeed. Everybody survived, and that was a miracle, but it was still a scary fucking thing. And on top of that, dude, I mean, those are shootings 2 and 3 that hit my heart really hard. When I was in high school, the Westroads Mall shooting at the Von Mars store was in Omaha, Nebraska, right next to where I grew up. I knew people that were in the mall when that happened, I've had a lot of family in my life that's been excellent people and really kept me focused the right way and direction in my life, which I'm thankful for, because I think that that's part of what anchored me and kept me here and where I am. But I also have dealt with the struggle of a lot of people that should have supported me and been there and weren't, and they were terrible, you know. I think there's a lot of stuff that people need to talk about, especially men, and no one's doing it. Or if they are, it's not loud enough, man. More voices, more audience, more, volume. And that's how you bring people together, and these things begin to get fixed. So that's why making these little videos is important to me, and I want to do this. And this isn't going to take away from anything else I do. I notice I get a lot of views when I go to film locations and, some of the other stuff that I do and talk about. And I'm still going to do all that, man, because I'm ADD like a mother, dude. And I have, like, my interests are all over the place, and I want to do a bunch of different things. But I think that this is an important thing to start talking about. So I want to do that, man. I want to use this platform to reach as many people as I can and try to open the doors to this conversation, man, and bring people together. That's the reason.